Self-Help Factory, by Justin Griswold. Title: The Art of War, How to Beat Yourself. The battle within oneself is perceived as the most challenging and pertinent aspect of every individual's life. This concept of overcoming oneself is not alien to any philosophical or spiritual thinking. However, the concept also holds water within the realm of war strategies. The Art of War by Sun Tzu could be considered a seminal work in this domain. It not only speaks about strategies to defeat external enemies but also accentuates and deals with the importance of conquering one's inner demons. This essay would delve into unfolding the profound implications and applications of the art of war, specifically in the domain of conquering oneself. Sun Tzu's Art of War, written circa 500 BC, is a comprehensive guide to strategic thinking, conflict resolution, and effective decision-making. By unearthing wisdom deeply imbued in this classical work, we can gain a perspective on how to strive towards attaining personal dominion. Sun Tzu's philosophies and teachings, paradoxically, extend beyond the battlefield, permeating various domains like self-development, business strategies, and indeed, the navigation of life itself. In essence, beating oneself in the context of this essay could be interpreted as overcoming personal shortcomings, inhibitions, weaknesses, and paradoxically, certain strengths that might act as hindrances in achieving personal mastery and fulfillment. Sun Tzu points out that wars are won or lost in the mind before they materialize in the real world, and thus, understanding one's thoughts, emotions, and behavioral inclinations is a prerequisite to victory. One of the fundamental components derived from Sun Tzu's Art of War is the significance of self-awareness. He states, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. When the enemy is perceived as one's inner selves, the term extends to encompass personal fears, insecurities, apprehensions, and doubts. Therefore, understanding and being familiar with one's abilities, strengths, weaknesses, and engaging in self-introspection are the stepping stones to conquering oneself. Furthermore, discipline and self-control play a pivotal role in the art of war. According to Sun Tzu, disorder and chaos are the roots to defeat. The ability to control one's desires, emotions, and actions is the path that leads to victory. It is a testament to the profound relevance of the notion of control in one's personal and professional life. Sun Tzu also emphasized the importance of flexibility and adaptability in war. He believed that fluidity and the ability to change tactics and strategies, considering the circumstances, often define whether one wins or loses the war. Transposing this idea can be helpful in overcoming personal challenges. One should learn to adapt to changes, remain resilient during adversities, and not be rigid in outlook and approach. Sun Tzu's wisdom, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting, highlights the power of cunning, wisdom, and non-aggression. When the enemy is one's inner self, defeating it is not about suppressing or negating the negative corners of oneself, but to acknowledge, comprehend, and eventually transform these facets. Lastly, strategic planning is an elemental aspect of the art of war. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, suggests that calculated strategies and a well-formed plan lead to successful outcomes. Similarly, setting clear objectives, maintaining focus, and having a direction in one's personal endeavor are critical to self-growth and development. To conclude, The Art of War by Sun Tzu presents timeless truths about self-mastery and conquering oneself. Although primarily a war treatise, its principles are easily adaptable and relatable to our daily lives. Beating oneself becomes attainable through self-awareness, discipline, flexibility, wisdom, and strategic planning. The path to self-conquest indeed becomes less cumbersome when one understands and implements Sun Tzu's wisdom. Ultimately, the most formidable adversary we face is the one mirrored in our reflections. The art of conquering that enemy is the art of knowing oneself. Title: Feeding the Mind, a Dietary Approach to Combat Depression, Anxiety, and Strengthen Brain Health. In the convoluted maze of modern life, mental health issues such as depression and anxiety have become prevalent afflictions, crippling millions of people worldwide. The pursuit of a cure is often arduous, hinging upon multifaceted factors. However, one profoundly effective yet consistently overlooked measure is maintaining a good diet. This essay will argue that embracing a balanced dietary regime engenders a robust defense against depression, anxiety, and bolsters brain health. A healthy diet is not solely for maintaining physical fitness, but it also plays a vital role in regulating our mood and stimulating brain health. The adage "food is medicine" holds more truth than we realize. The brain, a complex, energy-demanding organ, relies heavily on our diet to function optimally. Thus, the choice to eat healthily has the potency to transcend beyond physical health and influence our thoughts and feelings. Depression, a pervasive mental health issue, often finds its roots in nutritional deficiencies. Consider omega-3 fatty acids, primarily found in fish, flax seeds, and walnuts. Research suggests a direct correlation between omega-3 shortages and increased depression rates. Omega-3 fatty acids aid the brain in maintaining healthy neuron function. They are integral in controlling mood and managing depressive symptoms. By ensuring a consistent intake of omega-3, we provide our brain with vital tools for combating depression. Simultaneously, another nutrient significantly contributes to improving mood and reducing anxiety: magnesium. This miracle mineral stimulates the production of serotonin, a crucial neurotransmitter responsible for maintaining mood balance. Foods rich in magnesium include green leafy vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Therefore, incorporating these can significantly alleviate the symptoms of anxiety and restlessness. Furthermore, a diet abundant in lean proteins promotes production of norepinephrine and dopamine, neurotransmitters that urge the brain to stay alert and active. Consuming protein-rich food items like chicken, turkey, eggs, and beans can help strengthen brain health and increase alertness, thereby keeping lethargic tendencies often associated with depression and anxiety at bay. Depression and anxiety often stem from an unstable blood sugar level, which results in mood swings and irritability. Ensuring your diet comprises complex carbohydrates can stabilize blood sugar levels, allowing mood steadiness. Consuming whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes, all rich in complex carbohydrates, can help maintain a balanced emotional state. Whilst we discuss fighting depression and anxiety, it's crucial not to exclude the role of diet in maximizing overall brain health. Antioxidants found in berries, dark chocolate, and nuts fight cell-damaging free radicals, slowing neurodegenerative diseases and promoting brain muscle health. Meanwhile, vitamin K, iron, zinc, and selenium enhance brain function memory, found copiously in broccoli, spinach, and other dark leafy greens. It is important to mention, though, that brain health does not merely hinge upon what we add to our plate but also what we remove. Highly processed or fast foods, laden with unnatural additives and copious amounts of sugar, have been linked to deterioration in brain health, manifesting in mood disorders and cognitive decline. They offer momentary gratification at the expense of long-term mental wellness. The case for diet-mental health connection certainly looks compelling. Even so, it is essential to bear in mind that a balanced, nutritious diet is a part of the journey to mental wellness, not the entire path. Regular exercise, timely healthcare, adequate sleep, reducing alcohol and avoiding illicit drugs, all play crucial roles in the process. But we cannot ignore the power of a healthful diet. It has profound effects in protecting and nurturing our brain health, as well as equipping us with the right ammunition to combat depression and anxiety. To conclude, the matchless power of a genuine, wholesome diet is a woefully underexplored territory in the fight against mental health concerns. It's time society accorded more significance to the old saying, "We are what we eat." By embracing a diet rich in essential nutrients and evacuating unhealthy processed foods, we can actively combat mental health issues and bolster brain health. A strategic dietary shift is a promising start towards a healthier mind and a prospective end to the crippling effects of depression and anxiety. Title: Overcoming Depression and Anxiety Through Neurolinguistic Programming. Introduction. Given the increasingly fast-paced and tasking nature of the 21st century, it is not surprising that our mental health frequently takes a hit, resulting in pervasive emotional disorders like depression and anxiety. As society gradually becomes more cognizant of the importance of tending to our mental states, various therapeutic approaches have emerged to address these damaging emotional situations. One such innovative practice is neurolinguistic programming, NLP. This essay delves into NLP as an effective tool in overcoming depression and anxiety, facilitating mental and emotional healing. Understanding neurolinguistic programming. At the onset, it is necessary to comprehend the nature and function of NLP. According to Bandler and Grinder, its creators in the 1970s, NLP is an approach to communication, personal development, and psychotherapy. NLP fundamentally posits that there is a profound connection between the neurological processes, language, linguistic, and behavioral patterns learned through experience, programming. In essence, NLP seeks to reprogram behavioral patterns and attitudes to promote therapeutic effects, leading to improved mental states and overall life outlook. Depression and anxiety, a binary challenge. Depression and anxiety often present as a binary challenge, interwoven and overlapping in their effects. Depression is characterized by a persistent sense of sadness, a lack of interest in activities, lowered self-esteem, lethargy, and sometimes suicidal thoughts. Anxiety, on the other hand, signifies a continuous feeling of worry, fear, and nervousness, often resulting in physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat and restlessness. Both conditions negatively impact daily functioning, relationships, and overall quality of life. The NLP solution. Cognitive restructuring is at the heart of NLP treatment for depression and anxiety. It emphasizes the role of cognition in shaping our emotions, arguing that to change how we feel, we need to change how we think. This understanding is integral to NLP, which purports that altering our perception of reality can bring about positive behavioral and emotional change. Swish patterns, a prominent NLP technique, entails replacing a negative image, the one causing anxiety or depression, with a more pleasant, empowering one. For instance, someone constantly anxious about public speaking might envision an image of themselves confidently addressing an audience, thereby replacing the initial image of fear and dread. By disrupting and reversing destructive thought patterns, swish patterns significantly diminish the impact of depression and anxiety. Similarly, NLP's anchoring technique can be invaluable in dealing with emotional disorders. By associating a particular physical touch or movement, anchor, with a positive emotional state, individuals can learn to trigger positive emotions at will, which can counter feelings of anxiety and depression. Conclusion. In conclusion, while depression and anxiety continue to present severe challenges to mental health in our contemporary world, neurolinguistic programming provides an innovative, practical approach to combat these disorders. Through cognitive restructuring, NLP techniques like swish patterns and anchoring empower individuals to transform their thought patterns actively, consequently enabling a shift in emotional states. As an integrative approach, NLP transcends conventional therapy's borders, intertwining neurology, language, and programming to foster a more holistic, effective handling of depression and anxiety. It hence stands as a beacon of hope for those grappling with these debilitating conditions, facilitating a return to emotional and mental wellness. Title: Overcoming Depression and Anxiety, a Multifaceted Approach. Depression and anxiety are two precarious monsters that steal the vitality, motivation, and the overall joie de vivre of those unfortunate enough to be selected as their prey. Being pervasive mental health issues globally, they present considerable challenges to the afflicted. Health professionals emphasize devising strategies to alleviate the impact of these disorders. This essay seeks to explore methods of overcoming depression and anxiety, focusing on self-help strategies, mental health promotion, and professional interventions, while embedding the understanding that such a journey requires commitment, resilience, and a multifaceted approach. Undeniably, the travail of depression and anxiety can at times seem insurmountable. however, engaging in self-help strategies can be the first step towards transmuting the battle into a bearable journey. It begins with fostering a healthy lifestyle. Balanced nutrition, regular physical exercise, and adequate sleep often strengthen mental resilience. Physical activity, in particular, induces the secretion of endorphins, feel-good chemicals that could help diminish stress and enhance mood. Moreover, shunning substance abuse is imperative. Alcohol and other drugs may provide ephemeral suppression of the disturbing symptoms, yet ultimately, they serve to exacerbate the conditions. The art of mindfulness is another significant self-improvement strategy. Practicing mindfulness encourages an individual to focus on the present moment, stifling ruminations about the past or anxieties about the future, which often characterize these disorders. Consider the practice of yoga, meditation, or even simply dedicating quiet time to reflect and reconnect with oneself. Cultivating positive thought patterns is equally crucial. By training the mind to steer clear of negative biases and shift focus onto positive aspects, the grip of depression and anxiety considerably weakens. However, in emphasizing the power of personal agency, it is crucial not to underestimate the weight of external influences, stress factors, relationships, and, notably, stigmatization. Greater societal awareness of mental health is therefore a central aspect of combating depression and anxiety. Advocacy for mental health education and openness about mental health struggles can catalyze a societal shift towards acceptance and support. This shift not only counters stigmatization but also promotes early recognition and intervention, improving the prognosis for those afflicted. Despite the potency of self-help strategies and mental health promotion, professional intervention remains an integral facet in overcoming depression and anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most common professional interventions, bases its effectiveness on restructuring negative thought patterns into more positive and realistic ones. Moreover, psychiatrists may suggest pharmacological treatment to restore the balance of mood-boosting chemicals in the brain. Medications, such as serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, have proven beneficial to several patients. In the face of severe depression and anxiety, more intensive treatments like electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, or transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, might be considered. It is important to couple these treatments with regular psychiatrist consultations to monitor progress and manage potential side effects. Additionally, joining a support group can provide afflicted individuals with emotional support and a sense of belonging, making the ordeal of depression and anxiety less alienating. Overcoming depression and anxiety is, undoubtedly, a daunting task. It encompasses recognizing one's struggles, reaching out for help whilst challenging societal norms and anxiety-inducing thoughts. A substantial portion of this process involves making more conscious lifestyle decisions, fortifying mental resilience, and embracing a realistic yet positive perspective on life. It is crucial to note that self-help strategies, while paramount, cannot always replace professional intervention. They are to be deemed as complementary to medical treatment, bolstering its positive effects. Navigating the turbulent waters of depression and anxiety is about understanding that the journey of overcoming these monsters is not linear. There will be days of triumph and stretches of desolation, but every step forward, however small it may be, is a victory. It is the cumulative effect of these small victories that facilitate the gradual reclaiming of one's life from the clutches of depression and anxiety. One must remember, seeking assistance whether from professional services or loved ones is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to courage. As the colloquial saying goes, the first step is always the hardest. Pursuing this multifaceted approach is that significant first step towards regaining control and nurturing internal peace. In conclusion, although the ubiquitous specters of depression and anxiety can feel overwhelming, they are not insurmountable. Through a combination of self-help techniques, mental health promotion efforts, and professional intervention, it is entirely achievable to regain a sense of control and gradually overcome these conditions. The journey towards mental health resilience is indeed a courageous testament to the strength of the human spirit. The path to recovery is a call to action for oneself and society to create a nurturing environment for healing and growth. Title: The Art of Condolence, Encouraging Resilience After the Death of a Loved One. In moments of loss, finding the right words can be an arduous task. The inability to tease out the appropriate language often leads to silence or general phrases that seem insincere. Regardless, our aim should always be to comfort, support, and encourage a sense of resilience in those dealing with the death of a loved one. In order to provide meaningful condolence, let's dissect this critical aspect of human interaction and resilience making. Death, an inevitable phenomenon, has a profound emotional impact on individuals, imposing acute sadness, bitterness, anger, and sometimes, mental turmoil. This psychological upheaval deserves effective handling, sensitivity, and genuine concern from one's social circle. The initial response should comprise a balanced mixture of compassion, support, and empathy. Avoid clichés like "I know how you feel" or "everything happens for a reason," which may appear insensitive and belittling. Instead, a simple, sincere expression, such as "I'm sorry for your loss," can be a good starting point. Acknowledge their pain without trying to quantify or compare it. Remember, using the deceased person's name can help the bereaved feel their loved one is not forgotten. Listening is another critical element when aiming to comfort someone in grief. Grief is a unique journey for everyone, and allowing the person to express their feelings, share memories, or simply sit in silence can be enormously helpful. Less talking and more listening can create a safe, comforting space for the bereaved to process their feelings without fear of being judged or hurried. Respecting cultural differences is also vital when offering condolences. Certain cultures have specific rituals or practices associated with death and mourning. Being sensitive to these differences can ensure that your words and actions are comforting rather than distressing. Encouraging the bereaved to engage in self-care activities is another way to promote resilience in the face of loss. Emphasize the importance of regular meals, adequate sleep, and gentle exercise. These can all contribute to overall well-being and mental stability. Moreover, providing practical assistance can be an essential form of support. Offering help with meals, childcare, handling administrative tasks, or just being available and present can greatly lessen the burden. Remember, actions often speak louder than words. Encouraging the bereaved to seek professional help if necessary is also paramount. Sometimes, despite the comfort offered by friends and family, the bereaved may benefit from professional counseling or support groups to help them navigate the complexities of grief. Many well-intentioned people, fearing they may cause more hurt or discomfort, eventually fall into a realm of silence. However, remembering important dates, birthdays, anniversaries, and mentioning the deceased in relevant conversations can help to validate the bereaved's feelings and show them that their loved one is not forgotten, fostering ongoing connection and support. Each bereaved person's journey is individual, varying with the nature of the loss, personal coping mechanisms, and support system. Therefore, the approach to assist them requires flexibility and an understanding of the contours of their grief. In essence, the most important thing to remember when offering condolences is to be there for the bereaved person. Your words may not take away the pain of loss, but your presence, understanding, and patience can provide the griever with a sense of peace and the reassurance that they are not alone in their journey of grief. Ensuring a dependable presence and empathetic listening can be the gentlest way to help someone deal with the loss of a loved one and navigate the path towards resilience. Acting with genuine love and care might not only present you as a sturdy shoulder to lean on, but also infuse them with much-needed vitality and courage for the journey ahead. To conclude, knowing what to say to someone after the loss of a loved one is not always about the exact words. It's more about providing comfort, patience, a listening ear, respect, and practical help. Though different people will have different needs and respond to various approaches, all will appreciate and be comforted by the genuine warmth, concern, and support offered during a time of grief. No one can undo the plight of loss, but we all can surely make this uphill experience a little easier and turn this painful human condition into an enterprise of resilience building for all involved. Title: Navigating Through the Grieving Process, an Analytical Exploration. Introduction. Grieving, an inherent part of the human existence, refers to deep sorrow experienced, typically following the loss of a loved one. This intricate, personal process has been a subject of extensive psychological analysis and study. Despite its commonality among humans, the manifestation of grief varies among individuals, cultures, and personal circumstances. This essay aims to analyze the grieving process, delve into its stages, highlight how people react differently, and explore possible coping strategies. Understanding grief. Grief is an umbrella term that encompasses a range of complex emotions, including sadness, anger, despair, regret, and occasionally, relief. Despite its harshness, grieving can ultimately be therapeutic, enabling acceptance of the loss and the gradual resolution of emotional chaos. Following Swiss-American psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross' grief model, there are 5 discernible stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. Denial, anger, and bargaining, the initial stages. In the denial phase, individuals refuse to accept the reality of their loss, adopting a form of psychological self-preservation. By resisting the grim reality, the individual attempts to buffer the immediate shock. As denial gives way, anger sets in, an emotional ventilation of the pain initially safeguarded. The individual might express outrage towards the situation, the deceased, or even themselves. It's crucial to understand that this anger isn't a rational response, instead, it's an emotional discharge of accumulated distress. In the bargaining stage, individuals engage in what-if or if-only negotiations, hoping to reverse the outcome. This is a desperate attempt to regain control over the situation. Depression and acceptance, the final stages. The penultimate stage, depression, is often the most profound and recognizable. Individuals might experience intense sadness, anxiety, confusion, or disengagement. However, this depression differs from clinical depression and mustn't be confused with the latter. The final stage, acceptance, does not imply happiness or resolve. Instead, it denotes understanding and acceptance of the loss. Recognize that these stages aren't linear. Individuals may oscillate between phases or bypass some altogether. Diverse reactions to grief. The Kubler-Ross model provides an approach to understanding grief, but it doesn't fit all experiences. Grief does not unfold uniformly across cultures or individuals. Rather, it is a deeply personal process shaped by an individual's personality, resilience, and support structures. Some may grieve openly, immersing themselves in rituals or sharing their emotions, while others may grieve privately, internally processing their emotions. Both responses are valid and necessary forms of emotional expression, underscoring the complex and subjective nature of grief. Navigating grief, coping strategies. Navigating through grief might feel like traversing an insurmountable mountain. Becoming aware of one's feelings, seeking support, and gradually finding ways to move forward are pivotal steps in rebuilding one's life post-loss. Mental health professionals strongly advocate for regular emotional expression, either through talking, writing, or creative pursuits. Building a support system, either through family, friends, or professional help, is instrumental to recovery. Conclusion. Grief is a challenging, complex journey laden with a panoply of emotions. It's a testament to human vulnerability and resilience in the face of devastating loss. Understanding the grieving process, its 5 stages, diverse reaction patterns, and coping mechanisms provides a framework for navigating this arduous journey. Remember, grief is not a disorder but a natural, individualistic, necessary process. As articulated by the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, to live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. Thus, through navigating grief, individuals can discover meaning, purpose, and a newfound appreciation for life. Title: Confronting Terminal Illness, an Analysis of Coping Mechanisms. Understanding that your clock is running out ahead of schedule can be an immensely harrowing revelation. You may find yourself trapped in a turbulent storm of emotions, with fear, sorrow, and even anger tearing through your consciousness like destructive helicopters. Though this realization possesses the potential to crush our spirits, it is vital to grapple with this truth, navigate through the emotional tempest, and find ways to live amidst the ticking clock. The purpose of this essay is to explore how one responds when they discover they are dying and how they can establish strategies to cope and still find a purpose to live out their remaining days meaningfully. Learning of a terminal diagnosis is akin to plummeting into an abyss of despair, with the harsh edges of reality gnawing persistently. The initial reaction is, understandably, a wave of shock and denial. As Elizabeth Kubler-Ross posits in her seminal work, denial is the first stage of grieving. It encompasses a refusal to accept, as the mind struggles to adjust. However, as more information is provided and symptoms advance, denial slowly gives way to acceptance, and confronting the reality becomes inescapable. Anger invariably follows denial. One may question their fate, blaming circumstances, medical personnel, or even their own bodies. It's a natural emotional reaction, given the inherently unjust nature of the situation. Yet, this anger also serves a purpose. It can act as a mobilizing force, prompting individuals to seek second opinions, explore alternative treatments, and exercise a degree of control over their situation. This anger, if harnessed constructively, can be empowering during an otherwise powerless period. Once the anger subsides, many fall into the arms of depression. The reality of the impending end may cloud one's perspective, reducing the world to a gloomy broth of melancholy. During this stage, support from loved ones and professional mental health services is crucial. Re-establishing connections with the world outside the confines of the disease can serve as an antidote to the throes of despair. Eventually, acceptance surfaces, transforming the landscape of despair into one of peaceful resignation. At this stage, one integrates the reality of death into their existence and recalibrates their life according to this new reality. The person no longer fights the inevitable, but rather prepares for it, which can instill a sense of control and serenity in contrast to the chaos of the previous stages. Furthermore, despite knowing of their impending demise, individuals can still lead meaningful lives. One of the ways is to prioritize and focus on what truly matters. The shadow of death urges us to scrutinize what we value and to jettison the superfluous. This evaluation of values can lead one to reconnect with loved ones, rekindle passions, or even embark on new journeys, all of which can be immensely liberating and fulfilling. Secondly, seeking support plays a significant role in coping with the terminal illness. Talking about one's feelings, fears, and concerns with friends, family, or support groups can aid in alleviating feelings of isolation and despair. Connection, compassion, and community can counteract the dreaded sense of loneliness often associated with terminal illness, providing solace during this arduous journey. Furthermore, maintaining a semblance of normalcy can provide comfort. Clinging onto routines, hobbies, and activities that defined one's identity before the illness can preserve a sense of self amidst the volatility, further reinforcing a sense of control. In conclusion, finding out that one is dying can be a disquieting experience, saturated with a plethora of emotions ranging from denial and anger to acceptance. Despite this, individuals can still find coping strategies, which can range from focusing on what truly matters, seeking support, and maintaining a semblance of normalcy. Even in the darkest circumstances, the human spirit is capable of astounding resilience, embracing even the prospect of death with courage and dignity. The knowledge of impending death doesn't necessarily equate to the cessation of life, but can serve as a catalyst to live one's remaining days meaningfully and purposefully. Title: An analytical essay on the utilization of submodalities and reframing in personal and professional settings. Every individual perceptual experience is nuanced with contextualized sensory-based qualities that contribute to the distinctiveness of our mental representations. These qualities, popularly known as submodalities, along with the process of reframing, are profound psychological strategies prevalent in fields like neurolinguistic programming, NLP. This essay lays meticulous focus on how to use these intriguing tactics in enhancing an individual's cognizance and growth. Submodalities, the finer distinctions of our sensory predicates, form the unique texture of our internal representations and establish the way in which we interpret the world. Hence, understanding them grants us the potential to change our mental states, alter behaviors, and swiftly restructure the perception of our experiences. Broadly, submodalities fall into three categories based on our sensory processing: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual submodalities might include aspects such as size, brightness, distance, or color. Auditory submodalities embrace volume, tone, pitch, or rhythm, while kinesthetic submodalities may refer to pressure, location, temperature, or movement. Each attribute holds the capacity to shape and shift one's perception and emotional states effectively. To utilize submodalities, individuals are encouraged to first elucidate the current and desired states. Through the method of contrastive analysis, they can differentiate between the two states' submodalities. The next step is to alter the current state's submodality to that of the desired state, consciously invoking a shift in mental representation and emotional response. For instance, visualizing a daunting task as a small, distant object in black and white, then progressively making it bigger, brighter, and colorful can ease anxiety and propel motivation. Such alteration can enhance their ability to deal with situations effectively. The conceptualization of reframing takes a notably similar path. It largely involves a change of context or interpretation of an event to alter its meaning and subsequent emotional impact. Framing and reframing occur perpetually in daily life, often subconsciously, through various interpretations of an event or experience. However, conscious reframing has gained association with therapeutic contexts, time management, conflict resolution, and personal growth as well. Reframing, both at individual and group levels, can be a practical tool to challenge and replace irrational beliefs or narratives with more affirming and empowering ones. The process demands a conscious decision to shift one's perception or emotional reaction towards an event, coupled with a will to select alternate interpretations that foster healthier reactions. Two common reframing techniques include content and context reframing. Content reframing addresses the actual information of an event and provides an alternative interpretation, while context reframing contends with the setting or scenario which the event takes place, suggesting an alternative significance in a different context. For instance, viewing failure as an opportunity for learning and growth, rather than a concluding ultimatum, is a potent form of content reframing. Similarly, a perceived hostile remark in a heated argument might seem less aggressive in a comedic context, demonstrating effective context reframing. Understanding and using submodalities and reframing can be a journey punctuated with apprehension due to the requisite introspection and conscious shift in ingrained perceptions. However, these strategies bear robust tools in quelling negative emotions, fostering a positive mindset, and nurturing emotional resilience. Moreover, their application extends beyond personal self-improvement, permeating into domains such as psychotherapy, education, and professional leadership. To synthesize, the conscious utilization of submodalities and reframing has profound implications not just for bolstering individual well-being, but essentially across a plethora of sectors. Reconfiguring the finer distinctions of our senses and reframing our perspectives to more balanced narratives can foster the potential for personal and professional growth, contributing to a healthier mental state, elevated interpersonal communication, and enriched quality of life. By daring to delve deep into our inherent psyche, we open new avenues for understanding and interpreting the vibrant reality that surrounds us. Harnessing these techniques can, therefore, shine a beacon on the path to overall excellence in the emotional, intellectual, and social realms alike. Title: the art of embracing everything, a perspective through neurolinguistic programming. As one moves through life, they encounter numerous challenges, disappointments, and recollections that can potentially distort their vision from seeing the beauty and joy in every facet of life. However, the concept of loving and embracing everything, irrespective of its nature, might seem utopian or wildly idealistic to many. Yet, it may not be as unattainable as it seems when approached through the lens of neurolinguistic programming, NLP, a psychological approach that teaches individuals how to rethink and reshape their perceptions. Neurolinguistic programming is a behavioral technology, which involves studying the structure of the human mind, how we think, experience emotions, and react to those experiences. It aims to transform how we perceive our realities and interact with the world around us, interweaving techniques that allow us to control our neurological processes and pivot our thinking into a more conducive and positive pattern. Using NLP, we can imbue ourselves with a profound love for everything around us. Understanding the process of how NLP works is an essential prerequisite for how it can help nurture our capacity for unconditional love. NLP posits that our realities are constructed through our sensory experiences and articulated in our language, creating mental programs that guide our actions and reactions. Once we get hold of these representations, we can mold them to facilitate better reactions to stimuli, hence altering our emotions, behavior, and actions positively. NLP asks individuals to participate consciously in this restructuring process through techniques such as modeling, anchoring, reframing, and belief change. Each designed to tweak how we perceive different scenarios, turning roadblocks into avenues, problems into opportunities, and hardships into victories. Imagine being raised in an environment where failure was stigmatized. Growing up, you may have internalized this belief, making you excessively self-critical and fearful of mistakes. By utilizing NLP's reframing technique, you are prompted to view this previously negative reality from a different perspective. Errors are no longer failures but valuable lessons, offering room for growth and improvement. The anchoring technique, another tool in the NLP repertoire, encourages the association of physical cues with positive mental states. A simple touch on the wrist, or a specific word, can be coupled with feelings of compassion, unity, and indulgence, transforming circumstances that would have otherwise been disconcerting into opportunities for personal growth and acceptance. The concept of belief change in NLP can help us reassess and deconstruct beliefs ingrained in us that prevent us from embracing and loving everything. Beliefs are not necessarily factual or universal truths, but are products of our personal upbringing and experiences. By getting to the root of these beliefs, we can restructure them and build new, more accepting and loving belief systems. Modeling, the core technique of NLP, is the process of emulating the conscious and unconscious patterns of people who excel in particular areas of life. By replicating the beliefs, thought patterns, and emotional responses of someone who harbors love for everything around them, you too can cultivate this all-embracing outlook on life. NLP, in essence, provides the framework and the guidelines to transform how we perceive ourselves, others, and our surroundings, and aids us in developing love for everything. To journey through life armed with the power of unconditional love is a unique form of contentment. It invites a serene acceptance of the ups and downs, highs and lows, and recognizes them as integral parts of our human existence. However, one must bear in mind that this process of transformation is not instantaneously brought about. It is instead the result of consistent dedication and commitment to self-growth and understanding. It is a lifelong journey, much alike to mastering an art or a skill. In conclusion, NLP offers us the means to overhaul our prejudices, fears, and reservations, replacing them with acceptance, understanding, and love. This empowerment allows us to maneuver through life with grace, gusto, and an enthusiasm to experience and embrace everything that comes our way. It's about viewing life through a lens where not just the roses, but even thorns, can have their charm. This attainment of loving everything is the new form of wealth, a treasure of emotional well-being, that NLP can confer upon our lives. It enables us to live more fully, richly, and profoundly. Loving everything around us is no longer a utopian idea when perceived from the standpoint of neurolinguistic programming. It becomes an achievable reality. Title: Dealing with the Inevitable, a comprehensive analysis on how to comfort the dying. Introduction. We are often left raw and speechless when the specter of death draws near our loved ones. Such a profound life moment influences dynamic interactions, stirring up a sea of emotions and inviting us to deeply ponder on the right words to express our feelings. This essay explores the subtle art of what to say to someone when they are dying and outlines the appropriate actions that we can bestow upon them. Fidelity and empathy in words. Exchanging words with someone who is on the brink of death can be both poignant and emotionally taxing. However, it behooves us to remember that these conversations may serve as the emotional anchor that keeps these individuals grounded, reassuring them in their final hours. It is vital to maintain honesty and sincerity in our conversations. Platitudes and empty rhetoric can serve only to amplify the sense of doom and despair that looms over the dying person. A simple, heartfelt expression like, "I'm here with you, and I am so grateful for the time we've had together," is often more comforting than forced optimism or outright denial. Empathy goes hand in hand with honesty when addressing the dying. Acknowledge their fears, anxieties, and uncertainties directly, prompting them to openly express their feelings. Ensure that they do not feel lonely in their final journey by saying, "I understand your fear, and I'm here for you." Providing reassurance and facilitating closure. Death, for many, brings the fear of the unknown. To alleviate their fears, reassurance plays a significant role. You could say, "You will be missed, but we will be okay. Please, don't worry for us." Closure is, however, advised most prominently for comfort. For this, open conversations about cherished memories, regrets, confessions, or even forgiveness could be encouraged. Phrases like "I forgive you," "I love you," or "I'm sorry" offer solace and release from internal struggles. Title: Navigating Emotional Turmoil: How to Deal with a Bad Breakup. Every individual traverses through the intricate complexities of life, one of which is invariably navigating the choppy waters of a failed romantic relationship. Love often contains an underscore of pain, and one cannot escape the shadows of difficult breakups. However, the pain intensifies manifold when children become part of the equation. Maintaining their emotional well-being and continuing parental duties becomes a Herculean task. In such scenarios, it is crucial to devise effective strategies on how to deal with bad breakups, especially when children are involved. To begin, comprehending the pain, turmoil, and heartbreak accompanying the end of a relationship is paramount. A breakup is inarguably a significant life stressor that often instigates a sense of loss, comparable to mourning the death of a loved one. As humans, we are deeply impacted by the disconnection and rejection, leading to profound emotional upheaval. Understanding this helps lay the foundation to effectively manage such situations. Following a breakup, individuals usually experience an extensive array of negative emotions: sadness, regret, anger, guilt, fear, and more. It is essential to acknowledge these sentiments rather than deny them. Denial only intensifies the agony and prolongs the healing process. Recognizing your emotions is the initial step towards mending the emotional disarray. While it may be tempting, one must avoid overindulgence in these negative emotions. Directing them onto a constructive path is crucial. Instead of wallowing in despair, pouring emotions into journaling, painting, meditation, or any other forms of self-expression can help channel your grief healthily. Such activities also promote self-awareness, providing new perspectives and insights about the self and the relationship that just ended. However, the scenario is different for couples with children, as the breakup's negative impacts extend beyond the couple. Firstly, the couple must comprehend and accept the potential emotional trauma the children might undergo. Parents must be patient with their children's emotions and provide them with adequate support while ensuring they do not become collateral damage in their personal disputes. Keeping a composed demeanor in front of children while dealing with your tumultuous emotions is challenging yet crucial. Involving children in parental conflicts can lead to a dysfunction in their emotional development. Therefore, it is imperative to shield them from arguments and disputes until they are old enough to understand and express their own feelings about the matter. As parents, explaining the situation to the children with honesty yet sensitivity is paramount. Transparency about the situation, reassured with the adamant fact that both parents love them immeasurable, is essential in mitigating potential emotional inflictions. They must be reassured of their security, love, and importance, thus minimizing any feelings of guilt or responsibility for the breakup. Consistency and keeping up with parenting responsibilities should be maintained, ensuring daily life does not change dramatically for the children. A sudden change can usher in insecurities, fears, and doubts, leading to harmful impacts on their emotional and mental health. Hence, both parents must continue to provide a safe, consistent, and supportive environment. In addition, seeking professional help in the form of counselors, therapists, or even legal advisors is often beneficial. They provide pertinent advice, guidance, and emotional support for both the parents and children during this difficult period. Lastly, it is crucial for parents to find ways to stay amicable. A harmonious relationship, despite the breakup, can have a positive influence on the children's emotional well-being. Although it might be challenging, having mutual respect and open communication fosters healthy co-parenting, thus offering a solid foundation for the children's emotional health. In conclusion, dealing with a bad breakup is an arduous journey accompanied by high emotional turmoil. It becomes an even more complex task when children are involved. However, it is important to remember that breakups do not define one's existence, rather, they are transformative situations pushing us towards growth and self-discovery. By acknowledging your emotions, engaging in self-care activities, being patient and supportive with your children's emotions, maintaining regular routines, seeking professional help, and promoting healthy co-parenting, it is possible to navigate the choppy waters of a bad breakup, ensuring minimal damage to those involved, especially the children. Creating a supportive environment. Yet, words do not define the full picture. In tandem with kind words, we ought to provide the dying with an environment that is comfortable and peaceful. A quiet, serene atmosphere accompanied by heartfelt conversation can foster a sense of tranquility and calmness. Presence is the quintessential action in providing consolation to the dying. Your reassuring presence can mitigate feelings of fear and loneliness that may accompany the impending end of life. Therefore, striving to devote time to those close to the precipice of death is one of the most significant actions one can undertake. Beyond presence, providing physical comfort and emotional support. Physical comfort is equally significant. Assisting with their needs, like medical care, nourishment, or even their preferred ambience, can help sustain a sense of normalcy and dignity. Additionally, emotional support rallies from the willingness to acknowledge and share in the person's grief. Actively listening and validating their feelings are powerful forms of emotional support. This approach acknowledges the harsh reality of their time, yet extends compassion and understanding. Conclusion. Navigating the stormy sea of mortality can be a harrowing experience. However, through supportive words, marked by honesty and empathy, we can ease their passage into the great unknown. Simultaneously, our presence, combined with emotional and physical support, can provide unspoken reassurances, comfort, and a sense of peace and dignity. In conclusion, when faced with the unenviable task of comforting someone who is dying, remember to lace your words with sincerity, promote open and cathartic conversations, and maintain an environment that is supportive and peaceful. Filled with compassion and patience, let your actions be the echo of your words, paying heed to their emotional well-being, physical comfort, and preferences, ultimately leading them gently towards the inevitable culmination of their journey. Thus, beyond the limits of mere politeness or obligation, this is about providing a comforting sanctuary to one's imminent farewell to life.